You must accept that you have the capacity to make significant change in your own life. Okay? We all have this power. We, we all have the power to brute force a good habit in for as long as it takes in order to become an automatic habit. We all have the power to wake up in the mornings earlier than we have been, ready to go work out in the morning, read your Bible in the morning, be able to not have to rush to school in the morning, be able to take your time in those things. And like, this is the thing that I have to think about too. Like, I'm in a stage of my life where it's been consuming all this content about, about how do I get better, all this self-improvement stuff. And the amount that I've consumed is not directly proportional to the amount that I have acted. It's very, like, lopsided. So, at some point, you just have to accept that you have that power. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Like, when I was planning this video, and hopefully in recording this video and sharing it with the world, that will help me accept this power that I have a lot, like, more. But, like, we have that power. You and I, we have that capacity all the time. We just fool ourselves into thinking that we think that we don't have that power. We try and blame these other things. We blame the technology, say it's harder to remain focused on the world because the smartest engineers in the world are making your phone more addictive every single day. And it's like harder to get out of a doom scroll. Like, you'll just be, you're not actually like receiving joy from the phone, but you just keep scrolling for another dopamine hit. But you have the power to hit the power button, turn it off. Like, at any point during the doom scroll session, you have the power to hit those three little dots in the corner, swipe it out, put your phone away, and give your brain some space to just be a normal brain and, like, think and everything. But we also convince ourselves that we don't have that power. No, we'll go back. Like, sure, it's probably harder to remain focused in this world full of distraction than it was 30 years ago. I'll put that forward. I wasn't around 30 years ago, but I'm just going to assume that that's correct because I've heard testimonies from other people who were. That 30 years ago it was easier to remain focused than it is today. But it can only be by, like, this much. Like, that's not really an excuse to give your life over to becoming fat and sedentary and like just constantly on your phone or your game screen, not improving yourself, not becoming who we were made to be, like insulting the image of God through the way that you live out your life. Like, we have the power and we must plow forward. Like, just ignore the thought that says we don't have the power, that says, oh, the phone, I love the phone, I can't do anything else. You have the power to ignore that thought, throw the phone away, and do something better with your time. Okay, now to the second point that I tried to jump to earlier. When you've spent the last 16, 17 years of your life being horrible at, like, waking up to an alarm, just like beep 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 beep. Oh, that's not annoying enough for me to want to get up. I think I'm just gonna stay here. Beep 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 beep. Oliver, you're late for the bus. Like, I have the inertia of 16, 17 years of just straight, like, bad at waking up. Like, hearing the alarm, listening to the alarm for an hour until it automatically turns off instead of me getting out of bed to, like, snooze it. That's one of my weakest points, I would say. But I know that I have the power. Like, we all know that we have the power to change that. To be like, yes, I'm going to become a different person. I'm going to change my identity to someone who wakes up to his alarm, who doesn't have to listen to it for an hour, who doesn't have to set like 20 alarms in order to get up. I'm just going to be the person who wakes up to his alarm. And then you commit to that. Because you're going to say that, and then tomorrow you're going to be asleep and you're going to go beep, 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 beep. And you're going to think, oh, I don't want to get up for my alarm. It's pretty early. I think I like to sleep. And then you'll have to have the thought of, I said I'm going to be a person who wakes up to his alarm. And then you're awake. Like, you're going to have to brute force that thought and ignore the thought that automatically comes, that you've built up the inertia of that thought being the thought that you have. I'm just going to check that I'm recording. I am. Sorry, I don't want to speak to nothing there. But soon after like 2 to 3 months of brute forcing, beep, 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 woke up, then it'll become a habit, and automatically it will go beep, 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 and then you're awake for the day. Okay. Like, so recently, I've been rereading Atomic Habits just to try and get back into it, like understand more of how habits actually work, and like actually like enact what the book says, and like go through the processes that it tells us that I can actually build better habits in my life. And there's this concept in there about every action you make every single day is a vote towards the type of person you want to be. Where it's like, oh, today I slept past my alarm. Excuse me, whoops a daisies. And that's a vote towards the lazy, like version of yourself. And then maybe for a week straight, you're beep, 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 and you're awake immediately. And then that's a week straight worth of votes over to the easy to wake, or like that listens to his alarm side of you. And then 3 days in a row, you just slept through it, bad time. So then you're like 4 to 7. Then maybe like 2 weeks now, maybe just under. Then you like follow your alarm. Something like this, where it's like, sure, even though it's not the most consistent, like there are little bleak spots in the middle, you're still overall on the better side of it, as long as you brute force that you actually become better and stay on that better side. So like you brute force these votes until it's a landslide election, and then you just win, or like this is the type of person that you are. And even if there's a one-off day where you are on the lazy side, that should be a one-off, because there's the cognitive dissonance in your head. You're like, this isn't who I am. How did I sleep through my alarm today? What in the world? And then the next day, and that shame and that regret, you end up waking up to your alarm the right way, as you've been training yourself to do for however long, 3 months. But we all have the power to become better versions of ourselves. And it's a difficult thing to believe if you're like me, and for the past 4 to however long you've been consuming content as a kid, years, you've been enthralled by this idea of betterment of yourself. And then you look at your life and you don't see yourself being all that much better than other people your age or older than you. Like you don't work out consistently, your sleep's not good enough, you don't run, you don't eat healthy, you don't eat enough for the bulk, like you don't track it, like you don't have a job, sort of stuff like that. That if you had actually put in the work and like gotten consistent in when you started learning that advice, then you would be in a lot better spot. But You have to accept that you have this capacity. And you must remind yourself, because even though you know, you don't know. Like, you don't believe it. You have to force yourself to believe it. And the only way you can believe it is by having proof that you can do it. But the only way to get proof is by actually doing it. And the only way to do it is to believe it. It's a cycle. But before you believe it, internally, you have to know that it's possible on this level. And that's what this video is just a reminder that no matter how much like self-improvement advice you listen to on the internet, the most important thing is that you have to actually believe in your ability to do it. Because we see these YouTubers and like they're so big, they're so much further than us. And we're like, of course he can do it. He's a success story. And he's gigantic now, and this isn't a thing that he's gone through in the last 7 to 10 years. And hopefully my perspective is one that can help you to actually believe, help you to actually accept that you can change and better yourself, every area. Don't take it too fast. It has to be a gradual thing. But that's obvious. You've heard that however many times. But just make a slightly better change, a 1% better change every single day, and believe in its compounding, believe in its effectiveness, and you will end up better. As long as you believe, you give yourself evidence, and you give yourself proof. If you don't know me, my name is Oliver Johnson. I'm a future pastor on a mission to unite young men together towards Christ. And this video is a little less that centric of it, but this is still helping young men, which is my goal. Please subscribe or watch another video. Thank you for watching.